Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. This video was made to complete the assignment for Introduction of TEYL course. And this video explains how to deal with different types of learners and the principle of teaching English to young learners. And here I want to explain about the first, dealing with a class with active and passive learners, and the second, dealing with a class with slow and fast learners, and the last, dealing with a class troublemakers. And when teaching a class with a passive and active learners, we are as a teacher should to taking part in the group discussion, doing presentation, and then the create PowerPoint that summarize key found that presentation help the highlight key information. And some tips of dealing with a class with active and passive learners is you need vary two tasks and you need combine the activity listening, writing, speaking, grammar, vocabulary in the different activity. And we are as a teacher, we should to walk around in the class, don't stay in your place, and make sure every activity. And the next, for dealing with a class with slow and fast learners, we are as a teacher can do this among others, use the fast learners to help slow learners, that is by learner it if taught by a friend, maybe the language will be easy to understand. And for taking material when in the class, there are slow and fast learners, and the teacher are better of taking middle level material. Maybe for fast learners it too so easy, and for slow learners it a bit high. And for the solution, fast learners are given additional material or assignment, but just they are related to the material being discussed. And for the slow learners, they can be given remedial material. And then for the dealing with a class troublemakers, we are as a teacher can do this among others. Then make rules in the class, of course. The rules are not only for troublemakers but for everyone in the class. When the troublemaker don't change, the teacher must invite the trouble learners to talk directly, ask questions, find solution, and solve problems. And next, keep things simple. It's so important to break down tasks into small manageable steps, and teacher also keep short project and sweet. The principle of TEYL, they are the first, implicit learning, contextual learning, learning centers, and meaningful. Yes, implicit learning. Implicit means implied or not directly. This means that we learn English without directly understanding to the grammar. In the word, we will learn English by studying grammar contextually and without using grammar rules. However, the grammar is still present in the context of conversation. So we learn grammar indirectly. An example of implicit learning is like learning directly talk conversation and then practicing it. And the next for contextual learning. Contextual learning in the activity, the example Mr. Deden, do not focus only on the word, the example rice. And he also show the student how to use the word in the sentence. The example, it's a blah blah blah, and then do you like blah blah blah. The example is it's a rice. Do you like a rice? It mean he puts the language into context. Context in this case is real use of the language in communication. And learn a language without knowing the context or the using in real communication will not help the learners develop their language skills. And a learner-centered teaching method highlights student active participant in the learning process. It acknowledge that the student bring their own knowledge, experience, and ideas with them, which influence how they learn new information. The example, the activity from this method are fostering activity learning in the classroom track, problem solving, presentation, group project, question and group discussion, explanation, debate, and brainstorming. And for the last is meaningful learning. Meaningful learning is a learning that is relevant to student learning and can help students learn how to recognize and solve problems with the student achieve a deep understanding and apply this knowledge for subject learning. And for example, the project-based learning in which students are given something to contrast. And the meaningful learning, when you apply the meaningful learning in principle, you connect the material with the student real life. Meaningful learning can also be done by using familiar names such as cartoon characters in teachers' example, using authentic text or song as learning material, or asking students about their personal experience. It is basically making sure that everything you teach the students are meaningful for them. It can keep their learning motivation in interest. So it is important for a teacher to know what is type for the student lately. Maybe enough the explanation from me. Thank you for watching and sorry for all my mistake. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.